welcome to the weekly wrap-up. Welcome to the Prepared Mind channel, everybody out there, from Patreon to YouTube to whoever's pirating my videos and putting them elsewhere. Thank you guys for supporting us here, the entire Prepared Mind network, the R Syndicate, etc. We all need your support, we all enjoy it, and we enjoy helping you. Helping you understand what the hell's going on, and thank you for helping me see things that get by. I get a lot of recommendations during the week. I get a lot of clues. Hey, look over there. I get some inside information every now and then, and I do get an awful lot of offers of people who want to contribute. And all I can say is start up your own channel. The more voices out here screaming, the better. As well as sharing, hitting the share link, cutting the URL and sending it to someone else. Not just for the Prepared Mind channel, but for all prepper channels. The reason being is there's people that have still never heard of prepping, that still have no idea, that think it's some kind of radical crazy idea. We still have people who are into the economics of shit it's the fan, but they don't understand they need to do more than that, right? They need to have food, water, shelter, clothing, and a plan, right? And self-defense. You can't just do part of it. You need to do and be prepared for all of it as best as you can, as best we can. So every week I say, are we getting closer to shit hitting the fan or further away? And the answer is, we're getting closer. Now, if I appear a little stiff, it's because I've been battling my truck. I've got to put my, rebuilt the transmission to put it back in there, and it's the Truck 1 John 0 so far. What a bitch. Anyways, that's going to be my weekend. Oh boy. But let's get down to what happened this week. What's going on right now? And you can look at it and choose for yourself, right? You're the expert in your world, but choose for yourself. What is going on? What we should think about it? You know, wow. So I want to start with a big one. Well, they're all big, actually. Let's start with Hong Kong, right? The military of China is over a bridge 1 mile away from Hong Kong. Hong Kong doesn't belong to Britain anymore, is kind of independent, doesn't really belong to China, but guess what? Beijing can roll across those bridges and they own it now, not in 2047 as the rule books say. They own it now. And that, the political action being taken by their Congress, their assembly, right, is why the people are protesting. The heavy hand of China is what is being protested. And the result of the protests is they're going to get the heavy hand of China faster. Right? That's the problem. So they have been protesting, they have been getting violent, they have been vandalizing state property, not just Hong Kong state, but Chinese state property. You know, Beijing doesn't take kindly to protest. Just ask Tank Man, who was and then was no longer at Tiananmen Square. You know, that happened so long ago, but, you know, one little Tiananmen Square, Kent State type action by the government, and everyone will be reminded very quickly that might makes right. You know, so they protested in the streets, then they took over Hong Kong International Airport, and this sent the economic crowd over the edge. They just went fucking berserk. Oh my God, you're going to cause a recession. I don't know about that, but it's not good. You know, they're going to do a bank run. Well, you know, the banks will just say you only get a little bit. Right? You just get a little bit of money and then you're done. Right? Use your credit cards, your debit cards. Get out a checkbook if you want to buy stuff. So the bank run is a temporary way, and it's not really going to change anything. See, the people are trying to find a way to protest that's effective. And what I think a protest does is tells the government, we're pissed. And that's all you can do. You can't force change with a protest, right? If you want to force change, it's called revolution. But you can't force change with a protest. It's kind of asinine to think that, isn't it? I mean, you're supposed to be voicing your grievance, demonstrating physicality, and that lets the government know how serious you are. That's it. That's it. That's all you get to do. Anyways, what is going to stop China from just rolling in and killing everybody? Well, there's a number of things that'll stop them. And that would be, if they do that, Russia and Vladimir Putin have been doing the best they can to put a smiley face on the Russian face for the world. Right? Russia is doing big business deals with Germany and other parts of the EU, having to do with energy and manufacturing, agriculture. They don't need a black eye by supporting China if China does something. At the same time, if China were to roll in and kill people, Russia could say, you know, that was dumb, don't do that, we don't like that, and they can save face. But, you know, it kind of puts a damper on the geopolitical popularity contest that we got going on. Additionally, corporations look like they want to leave China. China's not looking so safe. And it's not just the protests. They have a currency issue. They have an economic issue. They have a debt issue. They have problems throughout the Chinese provinces, aka their states. They've got different people there. They've got a big Muslim population in a couple provinces. You know, they are not all rosy communist. They've got their problems. Additionally, the United States government wanted to send warships into Hong Kong Harbor. Why are we pouring gasoline on a fire? Why? Just leave it the fuck alone. China's doing enough stupid on their own, right? Anyways, let's move along. The stock market this week. Trump threatened, more tariffs some days ago. The stock market started shitting, right? So over the weekend, or at the beginning of the week, he says, we don't want to ruin the Toys for Tots and Christmas, and so we're gonna take that back. So the Dow started peaking back up, right? And then Wednesday we get an 800-point crunch. It's not a crash. It's not the end of the world, right? It's a significant crunch, though. It just says that, the tariff thing, that's not why we're having trouble with our stock market. The tariffs is a portion of the problem, don't you think? But it's not the only problem. It's not the big problem. The big problem is debt. Debt, 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 debt. Personal, private, corporate debt. There's probably a song in there. The economy is very weak. And what the Trump administration has done is try and make the stock market what the economy is about. Because everybody has a job, they're sending a little bit of money to their 401k, and they see it getting bigger, and they feel that that's the economy. We've broken it down to where it's very individualized and personalized. Well, you're doing great because the economy is paying you big money through Wall Street, so the economy must be great. You've got a job, you've got a little bit of a nest egg there on Wall Street. See, everything's good. Well, that's not the economy. The economy is John Deere tractor, Caterpillar tractor, both in trouble. The economy is heavy industrial manufacturing. That's Boeing, that's GE. They're not doing so hot, are they? The economy is, financial services, GE, right? They are just looking like dog crap. But somehow, the stock market is still pretty high. Why? Because there's just a few stocks in there that are doing well, and they're holding the rest up. Holding the rest up. It's like they're putting wooden legs under the horse, right? To keep this, it's like a wooden sawhorse now holding the horse up. And speaking of horses, right, we've got AOC and the four horsewomen, horse-faced women as I like to call them. Two of them have been denied access by Israel to visit. Why? Because they're critical of Israel. They're bitchy. Literally, they're bitchy. This thing that they've sold the American Democrat Party, the Progressive Socialist Party in America, that just loves this you go girl bitch attitude, The rest of the world is not enthralled and impressed by that. They're reviled by a great percentage of the rest of the world. The reason is because the rest of the world is in big trouble. Big trouble. The nationalist movement isn't about America. It's about countries going, why are we giving all of our wealth away? Why are we giving it away to other unions like the European Union? Why are we giving it away to countries like China, right, with trade deficits? Why are they giving it away through entitlement programs? Why are we giving our countries away to illegal immigration? Oh man, I've got so much inside stuff on illegal immigration here in the U.S. I'm not allowed to share. Those fucking people, they cost us way more money than I ever anticipated. It's incredible, and it's being stopped by Donald Trump right now. Just threatening for ICE to be out there rounding people up scares these people into their holes, under their rocks, back into their muck. Anyways, AOC, she's a brand. That is the face, the populist push for popular socialism. And it is going to take us to hell in a fucking handbasket fast. Shit hitting the fan in a heartbeat. They're claiming that the Green New Deal is free. Yes, free lunch for everyone. It's free because of modern monetary theory, which is neither modern nor is it a theory. It's been put to practice, and it's demonstrated that it fails. Absolutely astounding that the Keynesian knotheads in the Federal Reserve, in all their regional banks, actually are touting this as a legitimate banking solution to the crisis that the world and our nation is facing. Fucking morons. All right. I mean, really. You don't have to claim to be an Austrian economist. You don't have to claim to be a contrarian. You don't have to use fancy words. You just say, look, you can't pull magic money out of the air and not have there be a consequence. Well, if there is no consequence and no one gets hurt, then I'm going to start printing $100 bills at my desk. They're not counterfeit. It's modern monetary theory. And I can go out and I can stimulate the local economy by blowing thousands of dollars a day in free money. Why not? If they can spend billions and, yes, trillions of dollars, just throwing it out there for the banks, for the corporations to play with, oh yeah, they'll create jobs, sure. Pfft, no way, they haven't. They've done shit with it. They pocketed it. They're drawing interest off of it, keeping it in their banks. Right? If they can have trillions, why can't I have a couple 100,000? Why not you? If modern monetary theory, which means massive money printing, why not? Why not let all of us do it? Because you and I know that when all of those dollars hit the street, people are going to go, what the fuck is this money worth? We go put it in the bank and we have these giant bank account numbers. I guess that's great. We all can pay off our debt. Okay, great. You know, we can all pay off all of our houses, and hey, let's go buy yachts, and let's go buy airplanes, and let's go buy real estate in other countries with all of our fake dollars. Well, I got to tell you, the fake dollars around the world, we've got a problem there. The world is getting tired of the US dollar. They're de-dollarizing. And there's also a de-globalization push that's starting to occur and get some loud voices shouting, right? The de-globalization movement is working in conjunction with the sovereign national nation movement, and it's kind of personified for a lot of us in the Brexit. That is the United Kingdom, Britain, saying they want out of the EU. They don't want to belong to a globalist organization that is a net negative. In other words, it costs them money to belong to that. They don't get a benefit from it. The EU, as an experiment, started with fraud, and it's been a failure ever since. It's again the demonstration that Keynesian principles and policies and socialism are failures. failures, and the only ones who are enriched by it are the bankers. It's funny how the people in the banks get rich, and they're the ones that control the system we have, right? The fiscal and monetary systems, and their encouragement and their recommendations for government. It's incredible. Anyways, U.S., when we talk about debt, we talk about bonds, bond issuance, bond sales, treasury, savings bonds, not savings bonds, just savings bonds is what you and I would afford if we could. But they print bonds in the billions and tens of billions and hundreds of billions of dollars, and then they sell them with the promise to pay back later the face value of the bond plus interest. The interesting problem is the world is de-dollarizing. The people that used to buy the bonds aren't there, and we've had now, according to some experts, bond sales failures. They went and they did phone sales. In other words, they wanted to do it in a way that camouflaged or masked the fact that nobody else wants it. So who's buying the bonds? In other words, who is floating the money to the U.S. government to keep it operable? Right? Bonds are debt, and it looks like it's being picked up by the Federal Reserve, by the Treasury. They're monetizing our debt. They're messing things up, and they've done such a marvelous job, and the economy is so bad that we've slipped into a negative yield curve. And I know you've heard that term a lot, and it just sounds stupid. I'm tired of listening to it, but it's a problem. And the 2 to 10 is the big one. Every time the 2 to 10 yield curve inverts, we get a recession within, 6 to 12 months. We've been propped up with popsicle sticks and fishing wire and everything else for years now. Years they've kept this thing going. With fake sales, fake numbers, manipulated reports and figures. But that doesn't fix anything, you see. It just continues to kick the can down the road. It kind of exacerbates things. So the deal is, that bond curve, it's inverted, right? Despite the plunge protection team, right? Despite the Federal Reserve and the Treasury basically faking it. It'd be like me, here we go, this is terrific. I'm going to go to my checkbook and I'm going to write a check for $1,000 to myself. And I'm going to go to the bank, and the bank is going to honor it and hand me $100. And I tell the bank, that's a bond. I'll pay you back in 10 years, but I'll take that $1,000 now. And don't worry, bank, I'll pay you back with an extra 1%. Oh, wait, no. Let's do negative yielding bonds, which is very popular in Europe. Right? Okay, bank, you're going to give me $1,000. I'm going to give you $900 back in 10 years. And I go to the bank every day, and I write them a check for $1,000. Every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. And they just sit on those. Those are bonds. Don't worry, I'll pay you back later. It is real debt. And that money I'm taking out is excess cash, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, and while we're talking about cash and money and such, gold and silver. They have outperformed the S&P. They have outperformed the Dow. They have outperformed the stock market. It's just stupid metal. They've outperformed the stock market, I believe, for the last 20 years. It's incredible. They're just metal. How can they appreciate? They're not an investment. They're money. They've been money and continue to be money and will always be money because they're value, they're precious metals. What is important to note is that their value is going up relative to the value of the dollar. That's how they've performed. They're holding value and increasing versus the dollar. The dollar, the strong dollar we have, it's got its goods and its bads. Strong dollar allows us to buy from other people. But other people, other nations that is, they're not happy with the strong dollar. It gives us an advantage and it gives them a disadvantage. Makes them, it's so confusing. The strong dollar is not helping us and helping our economy. That's why Trump said we need the dollar to come down. Well, it is coming down relative to the value of gold and silver, right? The dollar's slowly coming down, making them look like they're going up. The dollar's going down, but why is the dollar strong? They keep saying the dollar's strong. Well, the reason is the dollar is valued based against the rest of the world's currencies, and they're all sucking. The dollar is sucking, but they're sucking even worse. In other words, the economies around the world are in big, big trouble. Going to go into a deflationary cycle, then a inflationary cycle. It is going to be a giant mess. We call it shit hitting the fan because it's going to affect us, not at just the bank. It's going to affect our ability to buy gas, go to the store, get power, conduct business, conduct banking. That's what's going on. And it's becoming more obvious this week, especially when the 2 to 10 flipped. It's been flattening and flattening and flattening, and then it went in reverse. And that is with all the manipulation and control and management of the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. They are out there. They don't want this to happen. They want it to look like everything is great. But guess what? Things are looking like crap. Absolutely looking like crap. And that's why gold and silver are going up, beating stock market returns. Even though the stock market's at all-time highs, gold and silver still beat the indexes. It's because the dollar is weakening, but it's not weakening as fast as the other currencies. We are on the Titanic. The Titanic has hit the iceberg years and years ago. In fact, I think Sir Greenspan was at the helm in the Titanic when he hit the iceberg decades ago and started playing his games. Started lowering the interest rates that sucked money out of local banks and sent it to Wall Street. Because why would you accept 2% at your bank? And it's not even that anymore. Shit, it's even lower than that. But they made it to where saving money became punitive. You got 2% and inflation is 2%. You get 1% and inflation is 3%. You're losing money. So people, to get a return, would send their money to Wall Street. Makes perfect sense if you're a banker. Alrighty, this weekend, right now, Antifa, that is the anti-fascist, communist youth of Portland, are planning more demonstrations, more protests. Who are they protesting against? The police don't stop them from doing what they want. The city capitulates and bends to their will. They get to go running through the street. Now guess what this is doing? It's starting to hurt businesses in Portland bad. They're closing their doors on restaurants and bars because these lunatic Bolshevik wannabes are causing so much trouble on the street. It's not just the business that's losing money. Bartenders and waitresses, store clerks in retail, they're not going to come to work if their stores close. Yeah, this is great. Great. I love socialism. It's so brilliant. Jesus. Expect more. And while we're expecting more, which one do I want to do first? Let's do Epstein first. Jeffrey P. Stain Epstein. What a clown. I covered what happened with him all week, so I don't want to go into great detail, except to note that the world is laughing at the United States. The world is also right on the edge of saying bullshit. Right? Conspiracy theory fodder galore with vitamins and minerals added. What a bunch of crap they've done. China is laughing at us. And I mean, who is China to talk about running things properly? Right? They're China. They use the heavy hand and they're laughing, going, you can't, it's incredible. Everyone knows that they're trying to get rid of, or somebody tried to get rid of Epstein to protect themselves. It's patently obvious, for Pete's sake. I mean, how much more evidence do you need that the state, the deep state that is involved in this? Unless it's the Trump administration hiding him, which is possible. but they took a black eye for looking so incompetent. I'll leave it there. Let's see where Epstein goes next week. Let's just see how foolish and stupid the government looks. And let's just see if the deep state and the Epstein thing just kind of go away, so that the people get to see there is no justice in America anymore. Go ahead. Don't pay your parking ticket. Have that bench warrant result in your arrest when you're least expecting it. Go ahead. Don't pay your taxes. See how long you own your house. Don't pay your registration. See how long until your car is impounded. Go ahead. Government can get away with whatever they want because they're untouchable at the top. Oh, let's let them go. It's not that big of a crime. The fuck it isn't. Okay. I want to end with red flag and assault weapons ban. I covered this heavily in yesterday's videos. It's a big deal. Now, what's amazing is that, the pro-gun political action committees, there's a number of them, I'm not going to bother naming them, they're up in arms. Even the NRA is putting on a good show of saying, fuck that, we don't like it. Right? Common sense is, don't mess with the Second Amendment. You want common sense? There it is. Let the people arm themselves without ridiculous restrictions and prohibitions. It was interesting this week, yeah. A man with a concealed weapons permit stopped another one of these lunatics from doing a mass shooting because he was armed and he took action. You know, if you want to say Americans are ridiculous, we're a bunch of cowboys, right, buckaroos, fine. Fine. Call us buckaroos. Let us have our guns. We'll make citizens arrest against these assholios. These leftist lunatics that are doing mass shootings and trying to pin it on right-wing radicalism, and it's all about them sacrificing their lives or their literal life by being suicided or killed. They're sacrificing themselves in order to paint an uglier picture of America. They are. They're sacrificing themselves in order to paint an uglier picture of America so they can get their gun control. You know, and what's great is the people don't want it. Even Democrats, and I'm sure they're the old school blue blood Democrats that you can actually sit down and talk to without either wanting to strangle yourself, right? Doing Epstein to yourself, listening to these young idiots. But the older ones are like, no, we're not giving our guns up. We don't want that. Doesn't work. Whether or not they think that some right-wing guy, they're going to need to protect themselves, or whether these gun-toting Democrats believe the government is, the Trump administration is a threat, I don't care, as long as they're saying, yeah, we can see the point of the Second Amendment from any political perspective. The only ones that don't want it are the government that wants to round up the guns and then round up the people. It is patently obvious that that is their plan, their motive. That's what they want, is to round up dissidents. And I covered this week I think very well, along with many other people, is they want extermination, death, concentration, work, re-education camps. That's what these extreme leftists want. That's what Horseface wants. That's what the 4 Horseface women want. That's what Nancy, I can't believe it's not butter, Pelosi wants. That's what Chuck Schumer wants. That's what Ding Dong Sanders wants. They want to lock us up and introduce their socialist utopia. What's amazing is they're trying to do it at the end of a manipulated economy. Absolutely manipulated economy that is not capitalist. It's not. It is a complete cronyism system between the military-industrial complex, which is expanded to include pharmaceuticals, which is a massive percentage of the U.S., as well as agriculture. Everything is moved into the national security safe space of corporate sponsorship of politicians. What a world we live in. What can we do? Nah. Go ahead and protest. See how far you get with it. I think you should get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Understand that 10-mile radius around your place, because this week was, again, an acceleration towards shit hitting the fan. The train isn't slowing down as it comes in to shit hits the fan. It's speeding up. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. I'll talk to you again very, very soon.